Let me share something powerful with you today. It's not what you get in life that counts most. It's what you become in the process. That's the real prize. You can lose the money, the job, the possessions, but if you've become someone of value, you can always rebuild it again. Because the skills, the mindset, the strength you've developed are yours forever. When you set a goal to become financially independent, that's a wonderful objective, but here's the deeper question. Who must you become to reach that level? You'll need to become more disciplined, more strategic, more consistent. That's the real reward, not the dollar figure in the bank account, but the character that was built getting there. When we talk about value in life, most people immediately think of material things, money, assets, possessions, or status. But the truth is, real value doesn't come from what you acquire. It comes from what you grow into. The deeper truth is this: value lies in growth, not in acquisition. If you focus only on what you can get, you limit yourself. But if you shift your focus to who you can become, the possibilities expand far beyond anything you can physically collect. Imagine someone who suddenly inherits a large fortune. They didn't earn it. They didn't struggle for it. They didn't prepare for it. Now compare that person to someone who built their wealth slowly through education, discipline, and steady progress. The one who built it from the ground up didn't just gain money. They gained wisdom, emotional control, foresight, patience, and leadership. Even if they lost the money tomorrow, those internal traits would allow them to rise again. But the one who inherited the fortune without growth often loses it just as easily because they never became the kind of person who could sustain it. That's the essence of this principle. Acquisition can be temporary, growth is lasting. Everything you gather on the outside can be taken away, but what you develop on the inside, your mindset, your values, your skills, those are yours forever. And the more you grow, the more capable you become of creating, attracting, and sustaining whatever it is you seek. Now, there's nothing wrong with desiring nice things. There's nothing wrong with setting goals that include financial success or recognition. But those goals should serve as stepping stones to personal evolution, not as ends in themselves. The more valuable goal is who you must become in the process. If your ambition is to earn a higher income, that goal will push you to learn new skills, to communicate more effectively, to become more efficient with your time, and to think more strategically. All of those traits increase your value, not just to your employer or business partners, but to yourself. Here's where many people get stuck. They chase results without changing themselves. They want more without becoming more. They look for shortcuts, hoping they can bypass the growth and still enjoy the reward. But it never works that way, not in a lasting sense. Because if the foundation isn't strong, the success won't last. It's like trying to build a tall building on weak ground. Eventually it all collapses. The only way to sustain success is to grow strong enough to carry it. This principle also applies beyond work or business. Take relationships. You can't have a healthy, thriving relationship unless you grow into someone capable of giving love, empathy, and understanding. If you focus only on finding the right person but never become the right person, you'll repeat the same patterns over and over. Growth is what brings depth and stability into every area of life. Even your mindset toward challenges shifts when you understand that growth matters more than acquisition. When you hit a roadblock, you no longer see it as a failure, you see it as feedback. You start to welcome the struggle because you know it's shaping you into someone better. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you ask, "What can I learn from this?" That shift is powerful. It moves you from being reactive to being proactive. You stop seeing life as something that happens to you and start seeing it as something you can shape through growth. It's also important to understand that growth doesn't always come with applause. Sometimes the most meaningful growth happens in quiet moments, when no one is watching. When you choose discipline over comfort, effort over ease, character over convenience. These moments don't earn praise, but they build your value from the inside out. And eventually, the world takes notice. Because when you grow, you begin to attract better opportunities, better relationships, and better results. Not by chasing them, but by becoming the kind of person who naturally draws them in. So, don't fall into the trap of measuring your life by what you've acquired. Measure it by how much you've grown. Ask yourself, not just what do I want, but also who do I need to become? That one question changes everything. Because when you commit to becoming more, more aware, more skilled, more disciplined, more generous, you begin to unlock the real value life has to offer, not just for you, but for everyone around you. The real reason for setting goals isn't just to achieve them. It's to see who you must become in order to achieve them. That's where the value lies. Too often, people focus solely on the end result. They want the promotion, the income, the lifestyle, the recognition, but rarely do they pause to consider what kind of person they need to become to earn those things. A goal is not just a destination, it's a direction for personal growth. It challenges you to stretch beyond your current limitations and reach into parts of yourself that you may have never explored. When you set a goal, you begin a journey, not just toward the result, but toward transformation. If your goal is to build a successful business, for example, the end result might be financial freedom. But the real benefit is not the money. It's the skills you develop along the way, the ability to manage risk, the resilience to bounce back from failure, the communication skills to lead a team, the creativity to solve complex problems. These are the qualities that last long after the business succeeds or fails. The same is true in any area of life. If you set a goal to get in the best shape of your life, it's not just about the six-pack or the number on the scale. It's about building discipline. It's about mastering consistency. It's about developing a mindset that values health, energy, and long-term vitality. The physical transformation is just a byproduct of the mental and emotional transformation that took place. That's why you should never just set goals for what they give you. Set them for what they make of you. A worthy goal forces you to become someone worthy of achieving it. It pushes you to raise your standards, to break free from procrastination, to adopt better habits. In this way, goals act as a mirror. They show you where you are now, but more importantly, they show you what you must change in order to grow. And the beauty of this process is that it compounds. Every time you pursue a goal and commit to the journey of becoming better, you gain something that can't be taken away. You gain confidence, wisdom, courage, patience. Even if you fall short of the goal, you still win, because you've grown in the process. And that growth becomes the foundation for the next challenge, the next vision, the next goal. There's also something deeply energizing about becoming. It gives life a sense of purpose and direction. When you know that your goals are shaping you into a stronger, more capable person, the daily grind becomes meaningful. You stop asking, why is this so hard? And instead start asking, who am I becoming because of this? That shift in perspective turns obstacles into opportunities. It turns setbacks into training. It transforms frustration into fuel. Many people abandon their goals not because they lack ability, but because they focus only on the result and forget the process. When the result doesn't come quickly, they feel defeated. But when you understand that the real reward is in the becoming, you're willing to endure more, to wait longer, to push harder, because you're measuring success by who you are becoming, not just what you're getting. This also builds internal strength. The world is unpredictable. Circumstances change, markets crash, relationships shift. But if you've been committed to becoming a better version of yourself, you'll always be able to navigate those changes. Because your growth equips you to handle adversity with clarity and resilience. You stop being at the mercy of what happens and instead become someone who makes things happen. In the end, the goal is not the destination, it's a tool. A tool that helps you dig deeper into your potential. A tool that helps you uncover strength you didn't know you had. A tool that pulls the best version of you into the light. So set your goals high, not because of what you'll get, but because of who you'll need to become to get there. That's the real treasure. What you become is the legacy you carry forward. It's the true measure of success. Discipline is one of those quiet forces that doesn't always get much attention, but it shapes the outcome of almost everything. If there's one trait that builds character more effectively than anything else, it's discipline. It's not loud, it doesn't need recognition, but it does the heavy lifting behind every success story. Without discipline, talent goes unused, dreams stay unrealized, and potential fades away. With discipline, even ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things. Because discipline brings structure, direction, and consistency to your life. At its core, discipline is simply doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It means following through on your commitments when the excitement has worn off. It's the decision to keep working, keep learning, and keep moving forward, especially when it would be easier to quit. That choice, repeated over time, builds more than just good habits. It builds character. And character is what defines you when no one's watching. Discipline isn't just about strict routines or saying no to pleasure. It's about alignment. It's making sure your actions are in line with your values and your goals. When you wake up early to read, when you put in that extra hour of study, when you resist the short-term temptation for the sake of a long-term vision, that's discipline. And every time you exercise it, you strengthen your sense of identity. You start seeing yourself as someone who follows through, someone who can be trusted, someone who does hard things without needing permission or motivation from outside sources. That's where character starts to take shape, not in grand gestures, but in small, consistent decisions. The decision to take responsibility instead of making excuses, the decision to act instead of procrastinate, the decision to improve instead of stay comfortable. These aren't always glamorous choices, but they're powerful. Over time, they define how you think, how you act, and how others see you. You develop a quiet confidence, not arrogance, but assurance, because you've earned trust in yourself. Discipline teaches you how to delay gratification. That's a crucial part of growth. In a world that's constantly pushing instant rewards, learning to wait, to work, to build patiently is a rare skill, but it's also the mark of maturity. Children want everything now. Adults who've developed discipline understand the value of time and effort. They know that anything worth having takes time to build, and they're willing to do the work, brick by brick, day by day. Another powerful result of discipline is resilience. Life will test you. There will be setbacks, failures, distractions, and disappointments. But if you've trained yourself through discipline, you won't be easily shaken. You'll have built mental toughness. You'll be able to endure hardship without breaking down because you've already developed the habit of doing hard things. Every time you stick to a task when it's uncomfortable, you teach yourself that you can handle more than you thought, and that belief becomes your foundation in tough times. There's also a deep inner satisfaction that comes with discipline. When you know you've done your best, not just once, but consistently, you feel a sense of integrity. It may not show up in the form of trophies or applause, but it shows up in how you carry yourself, in how you speak, how you plan, how you relate to others. People recognize when someone has self-discipline. They may not always say it out loud, but they notice. They see the calm, the focus, the strength in your demeanor. Because discipline brings peace. You're not ruled by chaos or impulses. You're guided by principles. Most importantly, discipline is the bridge between goals and achievement. Dreams are just ideas until you apply consistent effort. That effort must be fueled by discipline. Motivation might get you started, but it fades. Discipline is what keeps you going. It's the engine behind every meaningful result. And beauty is, anyone can develop it. It's not a gift, it's a choice. A muscle that grows stronger each time you use it. So don't underestimate the power of simple, disciplined action. It may not feel exciting in the moment, but over time it builds a life that reflects your best values and highest vision. Discipline builds habits. Habits build character. And character builds a future that no one can take away from you. That is the true path to personal greatness. A major shift happens in life when you stop focusing on what you're getting and start focusing on what you're becoming. That's when real maturity begins. Most people spend their time and energy asking, what's in it for me? They evaluate opportunities, relationships, jobs, and experiences based on immediate rewards, money, attention, praise, comfort. But the wisest individuals reverse that mindset. They ask instead, who am I becoming because of this? That simple shift in thinking changes the trajectory of your life. Becoming is about transformation. It's about developing qualities that last longer than the outcomes they produce. When your focus is on becoming wiser, stronger, more patient, more skilled, more self-aware, you automatically put yourself in position for lasting success. Because what you become influences everything. Your decisions, your habits, your resilience, your ability to contribute, and your ability to thrive under pressure. This shift is also what separates those who grow from those who remain stagnant. When someone only evaluates life based on what they're getting, they tend to take shortcuts. They look for quick wins and easy rewards. They become frustrated when things don't go their way or when effort doesn't pay off right away. But those who focus on becoming are willing to go through the long process. They accept setbacks as part of the journey. They don't give up easily because they understand that every challenge, every delay, every obstacle is helping shape the person they're becoming. Focusing on becoming makes you more intentional. It helps you choose activities, goals, and even people based not on short-term gratification, but on long-term alignment with your values and growth. You start asking better questions. Will this make me more disciplined? Will this help me think better? Is this stretching me to become more capable, more useful, more grounded? Those questions cut through the noise of distractions and help you stay focused on what really matters. Another benefit of this shift is emotional maturity. When you prioritize becoming, you're less affected by temporary feelings. You don't make every decision based on comfort or mood. You learn to delay gratification. You learn to stay committed even when it's boring or painful. And that consistency builds something inside you that success alone can't build. It creates stability in your identity. You're not tossed around by circumstances because your focus is internal, not just external. This mindset also makes failure easier to handle. When your only goal is to get something, money, recognition, results, then failure feels like the end. But when your goal is to become someone better, then failure becomes information. It becomes feedback. It becomes part of your evolution. Every mistake is an education. Every disappointment becomes a step forward. That mindset makes you incredibly resilient. You stop avoiding challenges and start seeking the growth within them. Relationships change too when your focus is on becoming. You stop using people as a means to an end. You stop judging others based on what they can give you. Instead, you value the way relationships challenge you to become a better communicator, a better listener, a more compassionate person. You begin to attract others who are also committed to growth, and together you build something much stronger than surface-level interaction. And the best part of this shift, it's available to everyone. You don't need a perfect background or special talent to commit to becoming more. You just need the willingness to grow. You just need to look at every experience, good or bad, as an opportunity to refine yourself. Whether it's a job you don't enjoy, a relationship that tests your patience, a setback that shakes your confidence, ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? How can I use this to become stronger, wiser, more grounded? Ultimately, when you focus on becoming, everything else tends to follow. Success becomes a byproduct. People begin to notice the quiet strength you've built. Opportunities find you not because you chased them, but because you grew into someone ready to receive them. Life becomes less about collecting achievements and more about creating value, first in yourself and then in the world around you. That's the power of this shift. What you get will come and go. But who you become, that lasts. And that, above all else, is what makes the journey worth it. Success for many people is defined in terms of outcomes. How much money you have, how many goals you've achieved, how high you've climbed, how much applause you've received. But true success goes deeper than all of that. It's not just about what you achieve, but who you become in the process. The real victory isn't the trophy at the end of the race, but in the transformation that takes place while you're running. What makes your accomplishments meaningful is the kind of person you had to become to achieve them. There is a unique kind of pride that comes from earning something, not just receiving it. It's the pride that comes from overcoming obstacles, pushing through fear, enduring discomfort, and staying consistent when no one's watching. That's success that shapes your character and gives your life substance. When you achieve something not by accident or luck, but because you stretched yourself, disciplined yourself, educated yourself, and improved yourself, then that success carries a deeper sense of fulfillment. This is why the process matters more than the prize. The goal may motivate you, but it's the journey that molds you. Every day that you show up, even when it's difficult, adds a layer to your strength. Every time you choose effort over ease, responsibility over excuses, patience over reaction, you're not just getting closer to a result, you're building the kind of person who's capable of achieving more, handling more, giving more. And that's what makes the accomplishment meaningful. Imagine someone who takes a shortcut to success, cheats, lies, manipulates. They may achieve the outer appearance of success, but there's no joy in it. Deep down they know they didn't earn it. And worse, they didn't grow into the kind of person who can maintain or repeat it. That kind of success is hollow. It may impress others for a moment, but it doesn't last. In contrast, when your success is tied to personal growth, the pride you feel is grounded. It's not just about proving something to the world, it's about proving something to yourself. This kind of pride isn't arrogance, it's self-respect. It's knowing that you didn't take the easy way out, you faced your weaknesses, you dealt with your doubts, you kept going when it would have been easier to quit. That kind of pride builds confidence. Not the loud, boastful kind, but the quiet confidence of someone who's done the hard work. And that confidence becomes a foundation for everything else you do. What's more, when your success is rooted in growth, it doesn't end with the goal. You carry that growth into your next chapter. You apply it to the next challenge, because the skills, the habits, the wisdom you gain along the way stay with you. That's why some people seem to succeed again and again, not because they're lucky, but because they've become the kind of people who can rise to any occasion. Their success isn't luck, it's repeatable because they've grown into it. And let's not forget the example this sets for others. When people see you succeeding with integrity, they notice. When they see you building something solid, not just flashy, they're inspired. You become a living reminder that growth matters, that effort matters, that who you become matters. And in a world full of shortcuts and surface-level wins, that kind of example is rare and valuable. Success that's disconnected from growth may look good on the outside, but it rarely satisfies on the inside. It can feel empty because it doesn't reflect your best effort or highest values. But success that comes from becoming wiser, more capable, more disciplined, more generous, feels right. It feels earned. And that's what gives it real meaning. So the next time you set a goal, don't just ask, what will I get if I reach it? Ask, who will I become in the process? Because that's the real reward. That's the treasure you carry with you long after the applause fades and the goal has been checked off. Success isn't just about arriving, it's about evolving. And that evolution, that inner transformation, is where true pride and fulfillment live. Through it all, life will always offer you the chance to chase rewards. But the wisest choice is to chase growth. Because when you grow, everything around you grows. What you attract, what you create, and how you lead all stem from the strength of your inner foundation. Discipline forms your character, maturity shapes your thinking, and intentional effort crafts a version of yourself that is far more valuable than any external achievement. Success, then, is no longer something you pursue, it becomes something you attract by the person you become. So invest deeply in your development. Strengthen your habits, refine your thinking, expand your capacity, because what you become is far more valuable than what you get. And when you become more, you'll always be in a position to give more, lead more, and live with purpose and peace. That is the highest form of success.